Alright, let's hope I have the right account now. Boop boop. Alright, you guys voted on Dragon Age Origins, so we're gonna continue on with that. Game's taking its sweet time to load, though, so I don't know if I froze it on accident. Which is entirely possible. Oh boy, that's loud. Alright, let me close some tabs in the background. There we go. Happy Saturday, everybody. So yeah, I got an email from Jordan last night saying that he forgot to tell me he was going to be too busy, so we're not going to be streaming our cool, awesome band of Inquisition. So here we are, me making up the time. Hello, everybody. Oh god, everyone's pouring in now. So, let me load up the right game. Here we go. In between episodes, I did do a little bit of, like, inventory management, so you guys don't have to, watch me do that. Thankfully. So we're going to start out with doing a couple, well, actually really just one quest in the Circle Tower. And then today's probably going to be a lot of talking to companions, because I just need to go do that. So probably a good solid hour is just going to be spent in the camp talking to everybody. So let's do it. So let's talk about side quests real quick. With the Circle of Magi, we have 3 of them. One of them is actually done outside of the tower. One of them, which is Summoning Science, I'm going to save until I have a high enough... Well, do I have high enough Thievery? Let me see. Liliana, how you doing? Wrong one. Okay, I want Stealing number 4, so I'm going to wait till I get that for a special thing. So the only one I can actually do is one I already started, which is, I believe it's Watchguard of the Reaching, and that's the one where I had to like touch a whole bunch of statues. And supposedly we heard this big scary noise coming from downstairs, so we're gonna go investigate what that is.
Do you think that... I don't know if I have the strength for another big battle.
Boop, boop. Okay, so what is the mysterious noise that we heard down below? It's a demon! Surprise! Okay. Oh, wait. Alright, I remembered. See, I have like this whole room of people to help me, so I feel like this could have... Whoa, Jesus! I am just like constantly on fire.
Okay, done with you now.
There we go. What happened? Who is this? Alright, well let's see what he got. He has... Usaris, which is... Whoops. A really cool... That's a Malachite. We don't care about the Malachites. So there is no telling how old this sword is, and yet the edge is still as bright as moonlight. Written on one side of the blade are the words, "You are the mirror." On the other is written, "Reflect." And I'll get a cool codex entry about this, which you can look at that if you want. I'm not going to bother, but it's a fun little story. The demon in the circle, more likely than you think. Exactly. So there was these 2 guys talking in here. I want to go see what they're up to. Hello. Now, some of these people are added by mods. They haven't cleaned the bodies yet, and they're just like chilling out on the floor. Okay, a little creepy. Let's just hang out in the room with the dead people. Colin, do you have anything to say?
I'm glad I'm still alive, but the Circle's future still remains to be seen.
I think Irving's just gone. I don't know where he went.
My men have scouted the tower. It's a mess, but the abominations are gone. You are very thorough. I'm impressed.
I'm quite impressive, yes. Yeah, the circle will be back to normal in no time.
In no time? Doubtful. But it doesn't hurt to be optimistic sometimes. I shan't keep you then. Farewell.
Shan't. I haven't heard that in a while. Alright, let's get out of here. I'm just gonna go straight to the party camp.
The Blight. How will you end it?
Hey buddy, well, we have to fight the Archdemon.
Is that all? It is surrounded by an ocean of darkspawn. How will you reach it? If you reach it, how will you slay it? You say you are a Grey Warden. I have heard stories of this order.
What have you heard?
Great strategists and peerless warriors. That is what we hear of the Wardens. So far, I am not impressed.
Well, I'm new to the Wardens.
Will you make that excuse to the Archdemon? Or the victims it claims in the meantime?
Sten doesn't approve. Why is he all the way over here? Now, I do have mods that, like, edit this sort of thing, but usually he's actually just standing over here, where he normally does, so I don't know why he's all the way over there. So I kind of want to talk to, Bodan and get his story, but what companion do you want me to talk to first? My goal is to get through pretty much, like, all of the dialogue I can, so we're going to be here for a little bit. But let's talk to Bodan first, while you guys think on who you want me to talk to next.
You and your friends are formidable folk, indeed. It's good to have you along on the road.
What's your story exactly?
I suppose since you told me about you being a Grey Warden, it's only fitting for me to be as open. I am originally from Orzammar, the famed dwarven city that lies beneath the stately Frostback Mountains. I was a merchant there, too. Merchant caste. These things are in the blood, you know. You can't just leave them behind. I ran a fairly successful business. Rare artifacts, you know. Old things, grand things. The nobles loved them. Reminded them of the lost glory days, I suppose.
Well, why'd you leave?
One day, a noble woman came to my store. She looked around for a bit and then started shrieking in dismay. Apparently, she believed that a pair of braces I had for sale once belonged to her brother. He'd been lost in a cave-in, you see, while on an expedition to clear out the darkspawn from one of the tunnels running close to the city. They were made specially for him. They're unique, she shrieked. He stole them from my poor brother's corpse. She had me arrested on the spot, of course. Nobles, they're touchy like that.
I get that. What happened then?
Well, I didn't steal them. You see, I'd been paying these castless thugs to venture out into the deep roads for me. The lost tigers. They're full of things that people left behind. Sometimes you can find a treasure. Something worth a little gold.
Well, I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence on, is it stealing? Because, like, no one else is gonna... Yeah, better do something with them than leave them to rot.
That's exactly how I see it. The noblewoman, she wasn't too happy with the theft of her brother's braces. I don't know what they planned for me, and I didn't want to find out. Bribed the guard that was watching me and took off for the surface first opportunity I got. Never looked back.
You know, I feel like that's kind of condescending a little bit, the third option. So let's... Fascinating story, thank you. I'm gonna say, and now here you are.
Yes, here I am. Now, is there anything the boy or I can get you?
But where did these goods come from? Not the deep roads?
Look, we don't rob people, all right? We don't take things from people that need them. The things in the lost tigers, what good did they do lying there? I brought them back to Orzammar, where people could look at them and remember. It's not all that different up here. There are places long abandoned by the humans everywhere. Even more now with the Darkspawn coming.
What do you mean?
People flee from the Blight with good reason, but they forget things. Things with value and meaning. They leave them behind because they're frightened and desperate. And sometimes, my boy and I, we find our way to these places before the Horde descends, and we save these things. I take them away so the Darkspawn don't get them. Is that so bad? They destroy everything they touch.
I don't know, this one's kind of sticky. I feel like, they don't destroy everything they touch, but they do destroy a lot of it. I don't know. I guess I'm going to say I suppose is better than having Darkspawn take it all.
That's what I tell myself, too. Ah, these are dark times indeed. Dark times, my friend.
Hey, Fussel. You didn't mention your son in your tale.
Ah, yes. I'm married to a fine woman back in Denerim, it's true. She'd give me a son if she could, but that's not likely to ever be. Sandal here. I found him in the deep roads years ago. Abandoned, I think, and he was never quite right in the head. I took him in, and I brought him with me when I came here to the surface. It may not be my blood, true, but I think of him as one.
We left Orzammar.
That's right, boy. Maybe one day we'll see it again.
I wonder what happened to his wife. Well, that was generous of you.
It's not as if I don't benefit, mind you. Turns out the boy's a natural working with enchantments. He might have even been lyrium-addled. I never thought of that before, to be honest. Happens sometimes. He can work an enchantment into just about anything, however, given some time. Could probably open his own shop, if he knew how.
Enchantment.
Well, he does seem to enjoy it, at least.
His friendship over with Jordan. Fussel's my new best friend. Oh, gosh. Well, hey, have you heard any rumors?
The Darkspawn have attacked Lothering. I don't think everyone even had fled by the time they came, either. Word has it they swarmed the entire area, making off with prisoners and burning down the buildings, and then they were gone. Just as quick. I wonder if there's anyone left. I heard some chanters were going to head down south, maybe to try to find some survivors. I'm not holding out hope myself. That's what I've heard on the road, anyhow. Take it for what it is.
Don't dwarves have limited fertility since they're around all the Darkspawn all the time? It's why noble hunters exist, if I remember correctly. Noble hunters also exist because of, like, trying to hop into different castes. But for the most part, yeah, they have a lower fertility rate than the rest of Thedas. Which is probably why his wife can't bear children. But, I don't know. I wonder if surface dwarves actually have a better fertility rate. I just want to kind of not exhaust the rumors, but just hear a couple.
There's another royal army already gathering in the east. But from what I hear, when it marches, it'll be headed west, not south towards the Darkspawn. Can you imagine? If the Benorn stand up against Loghain, we won't need the Darkspawn to destroy us. We'll do their work for them. That's what I've heard on the road, anyhow. Take it for what it is. Tiernan Loghain had one of the Benorn arrested for speaking out against him. Arrested! Can you imagine such a thing? It seems the band were talking treason about how Loghain needed to be forcibly removed from the throne. But arrested? How can you arrest one of the Benorn? That's what I've heard on the road, anyhow. Take it for what it is.
Thought his wife was from a different race. I've never heard of that, but maybe. That'd be interesting. All right, I'm done with you.
Of course. Good fortune to you and yours.
Goodbye.
Does Sandal say anything?
Enchantment?
Hey, well, I do want some enchanting done.
Enchantment.
What do I got in my pockets? Liliana, let's give you some... Well, I'm not even going to actually have her use daggers, so that's probably not the best. All right, I'll ignore this then. All right, who to talk to now? Well, someone said dogs. Let's talk to the puppy. Hey, puppy. What up?
Oh, why, you little...
Hey, are you harassing my dog?
Me? Harassing your dog? I should say it's the other way round. Your furry friend here took offence at me getting near his food. He snapped at me, look.
I don't want him snapping. But it is a war dog. I don't know, this is a war dog. You shouldn't be, like, messing around with the war dog. So it was just a warning. He could have taken a hand off Alistair. Come on now.
Don't you think I don't know it? Sometimes I forget that he's a war dog. That'll teach me.
Respect your war dogs.
I once heard a really old legend about how the Hound warriors in the days of the old tribes would feed their Mabari the flesh of the vanquished. Well, that's what I heard anyway. It would sometimes be human flesh.
Aww.
Oh, like you can tell the difference. For all you know, maybe you've already been fed something. Someone.
Scaring my dog. I'd never feed you another human being.
It's not cannibalism if he's eating it, you know.
Look at what your fool dog placed in my pack.
Aw. He wags his
A
tail.
putrid, half-eaten hare is not something a woman wants to find in her unmentionables.
Why doesn't he share his food with me?
You are welcome to this if you really want it. The dirty mongrel can have this back. There. And tell him not to do it again.
You heard the lady.
I don't want it, you worthless fur bag.
Oh, hey now. I think you hurt his feelings.
Oh, he's just trying to be manipulative, I can tell. I do it too.
Yes, his name is Whippers. What did you do to the dog, Caitie? I didn't turn into the demon. I don't know what making the eyes glow. Well, hey, pets' eyes glow in the dark, like when you have a light source. So just think of it like that.
Your dog is filthy. I can smell him 50 yards off.
Let's see. I'm sure you're exaggerating.
That may be so, but all the same, I would like your permission to bathe him.
Boop, 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 boop. Nah, yeah. It's good for his health. So go ahead, he's getting a little rank.
Excellent. I will get my soaps,
Oh.
and the dog shall have his
Jinx,
bath
do you want a
after
bath?
supper.
Do you want a bath? Oh, she ran off. God, everyone's talking to Puppy. Angry snarl. Vicious growl. Loud, terrifying roar. I'm just gonna watch. He barks fiercely and lunges at Sten.
You are a true warrior and worthy of respect.
One more. Whippers digs furiously and in the ground at your feet. I mean, we're in camp, so yeah. Trying to find a way through the earth, are we? Alright. It's gonna take some time, you know. Well, good luck with that then. He bounces around you, barking excitedly. I'm gonna pet him. He rolls around happily on his back. Alright, that's all we can do with dogs. So, someone said Zevran, but I don't actually have Zevran yet. So we're just gonna go around the circle and let's talk to Alistair. Hey, buddy.
Something on your mind?
Hey, yeah, do you want to talk about Duncan?
You don't have to do that. I know you didn't know him as long as I did.
He was like a father to you, I understand.
I should have handled it better. Duncan warned me right from the beginning that this could happen. Any of us could die in battle. I shouldn't have lost it, not when so much is riding on us, not with the blight and everything. I'm sorry.
I mean, someone died. There's no need to apologize.
I'd like to have a proper funeral for him. Maybe once this is all done, if we're still alive. I don't think he had any family to speak of.
He had you.
I suppose he did. It probably sounds stupid, but part of me wishes I was with him, in the battle. I feel like I abandoned him.
I mean, he knows that he saved his life. No, I understand completely.
Of course. I'd be dead then, wouldn't I? It's not like that would make him happier. I think he came from High Ever, or so he said. Maybe I'll go up there sometime. See about putting up something in his honor. I don't know. Have you had someone close to you die? Not that I mean to pry, I'm just...
Not really. I can't imagine she remembers her family, to be honest. I'm just gonna say no, not really. Not since I went to the tower.
That must have felt a lot like when I got sent to the Chantry. You mages don't even get a say in the matter, after all. Thank you. It was good to talk about this with a friend. It means a lot to me.
Maybe I'll go to High Ever with you too when you go.
I'd like that. So would he, I think.
Oh.
Something on your mind?
Ooh, we can flirt. Has anyone ever told you how handsome you are?
Not unless they were asking me for a favor. Well, there was that one
I
time
might be.
in Denerim, but those women were not like you. Why? Is this your way of telling me you think I'm handsome?
And if it is, what then?
Oh, nothing much. I just get to grin a bit and look foolish for a while.
It begins.
At your service.
I have some questions.
Of course.
Oh my god, this is so many questions. Let's see here. Imagine let's start out with the Grey Warden stuff. Tell me about the Grey Wardens.
Such as they are.
Oh my goodness. Where are the nearest Grey Wardens from here?
That's a good question. There's plenty in Orlais, but who knows where they might be found. And the nearest Orlesian city is weeks away. If we go north and cross the sea, there's bound to be some in the Free Marches. Again, however, I just don't know where. I don't know anything about Grey Wardens in other lands.
Why not? Is there a headquarters somewhere?
Here in Ferelden, there's our compound in Denerim at the palace, but that's it. Loghain will have control over that and be watching it, no doubt. Beyond that, the only place I know of is Weishaupt Fortress. That's the headquarters of all Grey Wardens in the Anderfelds, 1,000 miles from here. But I've no idea how to even contact them. So unless we try to get back to the compound in Denerim, I suppose the answer is no. There's nowhere for us to go.
Oh, that's nice. What would happen if we just left?
Just left? You mean just left Ferelden?
Yeah.
I don't know. If there's an archdemon, however, we're supposed to be the only ones who can defeat it. And that means the blight would grow unchecked. Eventually, other Grey Wardens in Orlais and other lands would hear about it, and they would come to fight it, but they wouldn't come in time to save Ferelden. There's no way. I'm not going anywhere.
Well, we need to start rebuilding the Order.
I mean, eventually we would have to use the joining to make more Grey Wardens, right? But I don't know how to do the joining, or what's involved. I know it involves lyrium and some other magic, and that it's really difficult to prepare, but that's it. Unless we can find out more about the joining, I guess we better get used to the idea that there might only be 2 of us for now. Until more come from elsewhere.
So what happens now that there's just the 2 of us?
I imagine that eventually the Grey Wardens outside of Ferelden will wonder what's happened. Why there's no contact from Duncan or someone. They'll send someone eventually. Though who knows what Loghain's people in Denerim will tell them. Maybe they won't send anyone. We could try to contact them. But that would mean leaving Ferelden, and even if we did, they couldn't come back with us in time to stop the blight. So that means whatever happens, it's up to us.
I have no more questions.
About the Grey Wardens, anyhow.
Yeah.
Fair enough. At your service.
Boop, boop, boop. More questions.
Of course.
You tell me about the Grey Wardens. So how'd you become a Grey Warden?
Same way you did. You drink some blood, you choke on it, and pass out. You haven't forgotten already, have you?
I meant before that.
Let's see, I was in the Chantry before. I trained for many years to become a Templar, in fact. That's where I learned most of my skills.
You don't seem like the religious sort.
You're telling me I was banished to the kitchens to scour the pots more times than I can count. And that's a lot. I can count pretty high. The Grand Cleric didn't want to let me go. Duncan was forced to conscript me, actually, and was she ever furious when he did. I thought she was going to have us both arrested. I was lucky.
Why did the Grand Cleric want to keep you?
I wondered that myself. It's not as if she valued me highly. I think she just didn't want to give anything to the Grey Wardens, is all. The Chantry didn't lose much. And I think I can do more fighting the Blight anyhow, rather than sitting in a temple somewhere. I'll always be thankful to Duncan for recruiting me. If it hadn't been for him, you know, I wouldn't have.
He was a good man.
He was. A good man who didn't deserve his fate. That much I'm sure of. Come on, let's go. I think I'm done talking.
Aw.
At your service.
More questions.
Of course.
So you said you were raised by the Chantry?
Oh, did I say that? I meant that dogs raised me. Giant slobbering dogs from the Anderfells. A whole pack of them, in fact.
Really? That must have been tough for them.
Well, they were flying dogs, you see.
Oh.
Surprisingly strict parents, too. And devout Andrastians to boot.
Let's see. Well, that is what they say about Anders.
That, and that they make a great deal of cheese. Funny, but the dogs never mention cheese. As a matter of fact, if you said cheese around them, they'd start growling. Isn't that odd? Or did I dream all of that? Funny the dreams you'll have when you sleep on the cold, hard ground, isn't it? Are you having strange dreams?
That's a little too forward. Only ones where the world is threatened by Darkspawn.
Point taken. Let's see, how do I explain this? I'm a bastard. And before you make any smart comments, I mean the fatherless kind. My mother was a serving girl in Redcliffe Castle who died when I was very young. Arleman wasn't my father, but he took me in anyhow and put a roof over my head. He was good to me, and he didn't have to be. I respect the man, and I don't blame him anymore for sending me off to the Chantry once I was old enough.
He wasn't your father, so you know who is.
I know who I was told was my father. He died even before my mother did, anyhow. It isn't important. Arleman eventually married a young woman from Orlais, which caused all sorts of problems between him and the king because it was so soon after the war. But he loved her. Anyhow, then you, Arlessa, resented the rumors which pegged me as his bastard. They weren't true, but of course they existed. The Arl didn't care, but she did. So off I was packed to the nearest monastery at age 10, just as well. The Arlessa made sure the castle wasn't a home to me by that point. She despised me.
What an awful thing to do to a child.
Maybe. She felt threatened by my presence, I can see that now. I can't say I blame her. She wondered if the rumors were true herself, I bet. I remember I had an amulet with Andraste's holy symbol on it. The only thing I had of my mother's. I was so furious at being sent away, I tore it off and threw it at the wall and it shattered. Stupid, stupid thing to do. The Arl came by the monastery a few times to see how I was, but I was stubborn. I hated it there, and blamed him for everything. And eventually, he just stopped coming.
Are you sure he isn't your father?
Yes, I'm quite sure. At any rate, I don't look anything like him. You'll see for yourself. Not that it stopped the rumors any. All I know is that the Arl is a good man, and well-loved by the people. He also was King Caelan's uncle, so he has a personal motivation to see Loghain pay for what he did. Anyway, that's really all there is to the story. At your service.
More questions.
Of course.
why have you remained a Templar if you hate the Chantry?
Have you seen the uniform? It's not only stylish, but well made. I'm a sucker for good tailoring.
In that case, you should have been a mage.
Oh, you aren't kidding. I think the Templar uniforms are as colourful as they are just so the Templars didn't feel dull in comparison. Last thing you want when you're about to take down some Maleficar out in the woods is to have him point and laugh at your taste in clothing, am I right?
And what's the real reason?
You don't really want to know about my being a Templar, do you? It's really quite boring.
I do really want to know, yeah.
Poke, poke, poke. Tell me everything about your life,
Oh,
Alistair.
yeah.
All right, if you insist. It's not like we have anything better to do, right? The truth of the matter is that I did hate going to the monastery. The initiates from poor families thought I put on airs, while the noble ones called me a bastard and ignored me. I felt like Al Eamon had cast me off unwanted, and I was determined to be bitter. But I took some solace in the training itself, I guess. I was actually quite good at it.
You enjoyed hunting mages, did you?
No, I never got that far. I mostly learned about discipline, and training my mind to use the abilities that Templars have. It was difficult, but rewarding. I never really felt at home anywhere, though, until I joined the Grey Wardens. And Duncan felt my Templar abilities might be useful when we encountered Darkspawn magic, so I kept it up. What about you? Do you have anywhere you consider home?
Well, the Circle of Magi's tower was my home for a long time.
But it's not your home anymore, right? You can never go back for good. I think I understand how you feel. We won't always be traveling like this, you know. Once the war is over, once the Blight is... well, a time will come when we'll have to think about having a real home again. Although that seems like a far ways off. And I suppose the Grey Wardens are gone for good. Either way.
They can be rebuilt.
I suppose you're right. We can create new Grey Wardens, but we'll never get back those we lost. I wonder if it would ever feel the same. Anyhow, now I've sidetracked us. We'd better get back to what we're supposed to be doing right now.
Matthias, you are so bitter that Jordan couldn't make it today. Yeah, Jordan's not here. It's just me today. He had some things to do, which I'm not being vague. I don't actually know what he had to do. But
At your service.
today we're just talking to companions. Well, probably some other things. More questions.
Of course.
Oh, boy. What changes about you after the joining?
You mean other than becoming a Grey Warden?
Well, you've been a Grey Warden longer than I have.
You know, I asked Duncan this too, and all I got was, "You'll see."
The armors are a mod, yes. He wouldn't tell you?
Oh, it's not that Duncan wants to keep it a secret. It's just that the Grey Wardens don't discuss it much. I gather it's not a pleasant topic. The first change I noticed was an increase in appetite. I used to get up in the middle of the night and raid the castle larder. I thought I was starving. I'd slurp down every dinner like it was my last. My face all covered in gravy. When I'd look up, the other Grey Wardens would stare, then laugh themselves to tears.
It's true. I can't... Fossil, if you're going to go out and say it, I can confirm Jordan is going on a date with Fossil. It's going to be... I didn't want to say anything, but I'm glad you guys are being open about it. Michael! You're supposed to go on a date with me! Oh, guys, I think you're watching my divorce happen. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh. I haven't felt anything like that.
Really? Because I was watching you wolf down food the other day, and I thought, ooh, it's a good thing she gets a lot of exercise.
Well, what can I say? I'm a growing girl.
I'll say. I didn't mean it like that. No, don't hit me. I bruise easily. Oh, and then there were the nightmares. Duncan said it was part of how we sense the Darkspawn. We tap into their, I don't know what you call it, their group mind. And when we sleep, it's even worse. You learn to block it out after a while, but at first it's hard. It's supposed to be worse for those who join during a blight. How is it for you?
Oh boy, you guys. Nightmares, yeah.
Some people never have much trouble, but that's rare. Others have trouble sleeping their entire life. They're just more sensitive, I suppose. Everyone ends up the same, though. Once you reach a certain age, the real nightmares come. That's how a Grey Warden knows his time has come.
His time has come.
Oh, that's right. We never had time to tell you that part, did we? Well,
Convenient.
in addition to all the other wonderful things about being a Grey Warden, you don't need to worry about dying from old age. You've got 30 years to live, give or take. The Taint, it's a death sentence. Ultimately, your body won't be able to take it. When the time comes, most Grey Wardens go to Orzammar and die in battle rather than waiting. It's tradition.
Why Orzammar?
You'll always find Darkspawn down where the dwarves are. The oldest Grey Wardens head to the deep roads for one last glorious battle. Not that there's a shortage of Darkspawn during a blight, but that's the tradition. The dwarves respect us for it. And you wondered why we kept the joining a secret from the new recruits. There you have it.
If you treated your wonderful husband better, he wouldn't have to run off with the German to raid dumpsters for food. Hey now! I treat him just fine. I feed him his slop whenever he needs it. Oh god. If someone became a Grey Warden at an old age, could they just die from old age before the tank gets them? Yeah, probably. Yeah, Alistair does talk a lot. Seems a high price to
I
pay.
suppose it is. We're the only ones who can stop the blight, however. Is there a price too high to pay for that? You know, Duncan, he started having the nightmares again. He told me that in private. He said it wouldn't be long before he'd go to Orzammar himself. I guess he got what he wanted. I just wish it had been something worthy of him.
He will be remembered, Alistair, as will the others.
I know. Ending the blight should make this all worthwhile, right? At your service. Of course.
Oh boy, what was it like to be a Grey Warden with all the
Didn't know
others?
them for very long, but I guess it was longer than you. You never met them all, did you? They were quite a group. Actually, they felt like an extended family, since we were all cut off from our former lives. We also laughed more than you'd think. There was this one time... Well, you probably don't want to hear stories about men you didn't know.
Nah, I'd like to hear about him.
There was one Grey Warden who came all the way from the Anderfells. What was his name? Gregor. He was a burly man with the biggest, fuzziest beard you've ever seen. And the man could drink. He drank all the time, but he never got drunk. Finally, we all made a pool to see just how many pints it would take to put him under the table.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Sometimes. We were kin of a sort. All of us had gone through the joining, so we knew... Well, anyhow. It doesn't have to be deadly serious all the time. Anyhow, we never did find out. He said he'd drink a pint for every half pint that the rest of us drank. He was still going by the time the rest of us were passed out. I'm told that Duncan walked in later on and saw us all passed out from one end of the hall to the other, and Gregor still drinking. Duncan laughed until he nearly... Until...
I'm sorry, this must be hard for you.
Yes, I suppose so. I thought I was done with this, but it just struck me that I have nothing to remember Duncan by. Nothing at all. There's no body, not even a token of his that I could take with me. That must sound really stupid to you.
You have your memories of him.
I just would have liked something of his to take with me, that's all. Well, there's no use in moaning about it, is there? He's gone. Let's just go. I'm wondering something. I'd like to know your thoughts about some of our traveling companions. Do you mind if I ask?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
What about Sten? The way he looks at me with those eyes. Creepy. And he's so quiet for someone so big.
I agree. They already are unsettling.
Yet he doesn't seem quite so bad as the Chantry tells us. According to them, his philosophy is vile and evil. Yet he seems so reasonable. And yet, he killed all those people. He doesn't even deny it. Doesn't that bother you?
He seems to regret what he did.
I'm not so sure that his regret means the same as it would for us. The Kunari sense of honor is... it's a bit hard to grasp. For me, anyway. What about Liliana? Is she crazy? Or do you really believe in her vision?
Oh, she's defo crazy.
Really? I'm not sure I could dismiss it so easily. I mean, it's not as if we didn't need the help when she came to us. And how could she have known? I don't know what to make of her. If you look at her when she doesn't see you, she just looks so sad. I almost feel guilty taking her away from her life.
I don't. This is good for her.
Good for you, maybe. Her? I'm not so sure about. Morrigan. Do you trust her? Think about it. Maybe Flemeth sent her with us for some other reason than she said.
Well, he's right, but, what reason could she have to betray us?
Hello? Have you met her? I think she'd need a reason not to betray us.
How? What did I do to mystery? Michael is just sitting behind me giggling. I do nothing. I'm a perfectly reasonable person. I can't even say that with a straight face. I think we're useful to her.
Well, there is that. Enough. I think my curiosity is sated. Let's get back to it, shall we? At your service.
Questions?
Of course.
Okay. If you're racing the Chantry, have you
Never what? Had a good pair of shoes?
You know what I mean.
I'm not sure I do. Have I never seen a basilisk? Ate jellied ham? Have I never licked a lamppost in winter?
Now you're making fun of me.
Make fun of you, dear lady. Perish the thought. Well, tell me, have you ever licked a lamppost in winter?
Oh, that sounded sexual. Oh boy, some of these answers. No.
Good. I hear it's quite painful. I remember one of the younger initiates did it on a dare once, and there was pointing and laughing. Oh, the humanity. I myself have also never done it. That. Not that I haven't thought about it, of course, but you know.
Never had the opportunity?
Well, living in the Chantry is not exactly a life for rambunctious boys. They taught me to be a gentleman.
Every
Especially
Friday.
in the presence of beautiful women such as yourself. That's not so bad, is it?
Oh, you think I'm beautiful? See, Michael, I'm leaving you for my video game guy.
What's new?
What's new? Oh, God.
Of course you are, and you know it. You're ravishing, resourceful, and all those other things you probably hurt me for not saying.
I would never hurt you.
Nor I, you. Let us be off then, lest your risque talk make my ears blush.
Okay, I think I'm going to leave Alistair as that. We've gone pretty far. So let's do Morrigan next. Because I got that book I want to give her. Hello.
I have a thought.
Oh, just the one.
Ah, such wit. Truly, you and Mother should form a troupe of jesters and tour the countryside. We have an opportunity that I believe we should take advantage of. To
Okay.
the point. My mother was once divested of a particular grimoire by a most annoying Templar hunter. It occurred long before I was born, but even today, Flemeth speaks of the loss with great rage. With the circle of magi in such disarray, it occurs to me that this might be the perfect time to recover the tome from their possession, for surely it eventually ended up in their hands.
What do you want with this grimoire exactly?
'Tis a book of spells, of the sort that Flemeth has dabbled with throughout her long life. Not the sort of thing that would benefit a mage such as yourself, perhaps, for you were taught a different path. I, however, was taught by my mother. I know a way around the wards my mother would have placed on such a tome. I know the language that she would have written it in. I would find such a tome most useful.
Useful in what way?
Useful in the way that it might increase my power. Useful in the way that I would become more useful to you. Does that not follow?
How do I know it's not dangerous?
Dangerous? All knowledge is potentially dangerous. If you have some fear of me such that I should not be allowed such knowledge, then by all means deprive me of it. I have no ulterior motive for seeking it, however.
You're telling me this now?
It did not occur to me when we were still in the Mage Tower.
Oh,
I wish
God.
it had. Truly, Mother has assumed for a long time that the tome was lost forever. I only remembered it now after thinking what treasures might be found in the Circle of Magi's Tower now in its condition.
I don't ask what's in it for me. We do have time for scavenger hunts because I already have it. We don't have to go back to the tower. So I think I have I have the thing.
What is this? The grimoire?
Surprise!
Since we discovered the condition of the Mage's Tower, I had wondered if it might be recoverable, but I had yet to speak of it to you. How fortunate that you found it on your own. You have my thanks. I will begin study of the tome immediately.
What do you hope to find within it?
Secrets. My mother has many of them, and this tome represents the one time that they were able to get away from her. I do not intend to squander this opportunity to learn more than Flemeth wished me to know. This should be interesting.
All right.
I await your command.
So life in the wilds must have been very lonely.
At times, perhaps. A world full of people and buildings and things was all very foreign to me. If I wished companionship, I ran with the wolves and flew with the birds. If I spoke, 'twas to the trees.
And did they speak back?
Don't be foolish.
Oh.
I recall the first time I crept beyond the edge of the wilds. I did so in animal form, remaining in the shadows and watching these strange townsfolk from afar. I happened upon a noblewoman by her carriage, adorned in sparkling garments, the likes of which I had never before seen. I was dazzled. This, to me, seemed what true wealth and beauty must be. I snuck up behind her and stole a hand mirror from the carriage. 'Twas encrusted in gold and crystalline gemstones, and I hugged it to my chest with delight as I sped back to the wilds.
Can't imagine Flemeth was pleased.
She was not. Flemeth was furious with me. I was a child and had not yet come into my full power, and I had risked discovery for the sake of a pretty bauble. To teach me a lesson, Flemeth took the mirror and smashed it upon the ground. I was heartbroken.
Aw. You were just a child.
And a foolish one. Flemeth was right to break me of my fascination. Beauty and love are fleeting and have no meaning. Survival has meaning. Power has meaning. Without those lessons, I would not be here today, as difficult as they might have been.
Emily, you might be onto something. Flemeth and Morrigan love pretty baubles so much because they're dragons. I like that, actually. But you don't need to live that way any longer. Does she, though? Those are harsh lessons to teach a child.
Perhaps, but they were necessary still. To return to your original question, perhaps my time in the wilds was indeed lonely, but such was how it had to be. I find myself at times wondering what might have become of the girl with the beautiful golden mirror. but such fantasies have no place amidst reality. I await your command.
Ask something.
So, full of questions, are you?
I am, actually. Did you grow up in the Kakari Wilds?
Why do you ask me such questions? I do not probe you for pointless information, do I?
You could if you wanted.
Oh, what luck. What is it you asked if I grew up in the wilds? A curious question. Where else would you picture me? For many years it was simply Flemeth and I. The wilds and its creatures were more real to me than Flemeth's tales of the world of man. In time I grew curious. I left the wilds to explore what lay beyond, never for long. Brief forays into a civilized wilderness.
But you kept going back to the wilds?
Would you not do the same? Your world is an unforgiving and cold place. The wilds I hail from is home to me, and I a natural denizen. For all that I had been taught, however, the truth of the civilized lands proved to be overwhelming. I was unfamiliar with so much. So confident and bold was I, yet there was much that Flemeth could never have prepared me for.
Very daring, that sounds like you.
Equal parts daring and foolhardy, perhaps. Only once was I accused of being a witch of the wilds, and that by a chastened who happened to be traveling with a merchant caravan. He pointed and gasped, and began shouting in his strange language, and most assumed he was casting some curse upon me. I acted the terrified girl, and naturally, he was arrested.
Well, that was quick thinking.
Men are always willing to believe two things about a woman. One, that she is weak, and two, that she finds him attractive. I played the weakling and battered my eyelashes at the captain of the guard. Child's play. The point being that I was able to move through human lands fairly easily. Whatever humans think a witch of the wild looks like, 'tis not I. Not that I did not have trouble. There are things about human society which have always puzzled me, such as the touching. Why all the touching for a simple greeting?
I don't know, I'm not human.
Do not speak to me of trivialities. Your culture is not so entirely different. There were many nuances that Flemeth could never tell me of. When to look into another's eyes. How to eat at a table. How to bargain without offending. None of these things I knew. I still do not understand it all, truth be told, but then I gave up long ago any hope of doing so. When I returned to the wilds last, I swore to Flemeth that I had no intention of leaving again.
Yet here you are.
Yes, here I am. Well, let's get on with it before the ground opens up and swallows us, yes? I await your command. So, full of questions, are you?
Have you ever been hunted by the Chantry?
My mother has been hunted from time to time, yes. By Templar fools like Alistair, which should tell you how successful they generally were. Flemeth made a bit of a game of it, in fact. The Templars would come again, and she would look at me and smile and say that the fun was to begin once more.
Fun? You found it fun?
I found the game fun. I was too young to understand the truth behind what was happening. Flemeth would warn them once. 'Twas a warning they inevitably failed to heed. And then the true game began. Often Flemeth would use me as bait. A little girl to scream and run and lure the Templars deeper into the wilds and to their doom.
Flemeth used you as bait?
It was a game, and I a young girl. If I didn't get to play, I would have been very upset. Thankfully, the wilds is a vast place. Once they found us, Flemeth would simply move us elsewhere, and we would be lost within the forest once again. I did not understand the danger we faced until I was much older. I had never heard of apostates or maleficarum.
I don't think she regrets hurting those guys at all. Do you still think that was fun?
I think that my mother made it fun so that a child did not learn to fear. And I think that it was necessary. There are no trials for apostates, no prisons, no mercy. There are only absolutes, so only survival matters. If the wilds have taught me anything, 'tis this. First, you must survive. Do you disagree?
Oh, boy. I don't know. Probably right.
An interesting answer for a mage. Enough of this talk. Let us return to the task at hand. I await your command. So, full of questions, are you?
Is Flemeth really what she seems to be?
Well, that depends, does it not? What does she seem to be?
A powerful Maleficar?
You mean, is she truly the Flemeth of legend and story? Tell me, how much do you know of the tale? The one that the chastened still tell of my mother, to frighten them into obedience.
I didn't even know there was such a thing.
Ah, I see. That does explain much. I can relay what Flemeth once told me herself, and you can decide whether or not 'tis the truth, if you desire.
All right, but make it quick. Sounds interesting.
As the tale is sung by the bards, there was a time when Flemeth was young and beautiful, a fair lass in a land of barbarian men, the desire of any who saw her.
Just how long ago was this?
Many centuries, before this land was even named Ferelden. The tales say that Flemeth fell in love with Osen the bard, and fled the castle of her husband, the dread Lord Conabar, and that he swore vengeance for her infidelity. In truth, my mother claims that 'twas Osen who was her husband, and Conabar the jealous lord who looked on from afar. Lord Conabar approached young Osen and offered him wealth and power in exchange for his lovely wife, and Osen agreed.
He sold his wife to another man?
The life of a bard is a poor one, and love fades in the wake of hunger.
Ooh,
It was Flemeth who suggested the
have fun with your new
arrangement.
kitten.
All would have been well had Lord Conabar kept his end of the bargain. But he was a foul man who bargained with coin he did not possess. Osen was led off to a field and slain, left for dead. Flemeth spoke to the spirits and learned of the deed, and swore revenge.
So she truly loved Osen then?
That was not the point. Conabar had no honor, so she would not have him. Flemeth begged the spirits to aid her, and 'twas they who slew Conabar. The demon the legend tells of came later. Lord Conabar's allies chased Flemeth, you see. Chased her to the wilds, and there she hid. There she found the demon, and he made her strong. The legends all speak of the great hero Cormac, he who defeated Flemeth and her great army when she invaded the lowlands centuries later. All lies.
Interesting that if I was hearing that right, because I was also reading chat, but the using demons using masculine pronouns. Because I imagine she's kind of talking about the shards of Mythal. Which she never invaded, or he never defeated her.
The truth of the matter is that there was never an invasion. As Flemeth tells it, the Chastened never raised an army under her banner, and she never fought with any warrior named Cormac. Cormac led a brutal civil war against his own people, and later claimed it was to vanquish evil that had taken root amongst the lords. Thus, he was hailed a hero. Flemeth was only attached to the legend much later. Perhaps 'twas due to the great war with the Chastened that eventually came, but Mother claims not to know how it began.
Oh boy. The legend tells of Flemeth having many daughters.
You ask if I have sisters. I have asked of this myself. The stories tell of many witches of the wilds after all, not just the one. And these tales existed long before I did. Flemeth refuses to speak of other daughters, if they existed. So, should I believe I am her first? I doubt that too.
Why would she refuse to speak of them?
The Chastened tell of a falling out between Flemeth and her daughters. They say that one day she hunted them all through the wilds and ate their hearts. It may be true. I have never seen another witch or heard of one. Perhaps one day Flemeth will eat my heart as well.
Oh boy. How is it that Flemeth has survived for so long?
The demon within her has transformed her into Something else. An abomination, perhaps, some would say. I know not. I only know my mother is clever, and she is part of the wilds as it is part of her. But she is no immortal. She bleeds. A blade in her heart would kill her like any other, were it lucky enough to find her.
Aren't abominations usually insane horrors?
How often is this usually? Always? If not always, then when is it not true? There are more things in this world and the next than you or I could ever hope to understand. What Flemeth became is a mystery. I suspect, even to her.
Do you believe her version?
I do not believe everything that Flemeth claims. Oft it seems her bitterness has colored her memories. But on the whole, yes, I believe this tale, if not all.
An interesting story, thank you.
Flemeth tells it with far more embellishment than I, but you are welcome. Dare I ask of your own mother? Few are abominations of legend, 'tis true, but I find myself curious nevertheless.
I imagine she doesn't actually remember her mother very well, so there is nothing really to say about her.
I see. I find myself a little envious, to tell the truth. But it matters not. Let us move on. I await your command.
I think you're out of things.
So, full of questions, are you?
Yep. We'll ask all that later. Save some for later, because I can't handle all of the things. So, Sten, Liliana, or Win. Let's do Sten. Just kneeling casually in this corner.
Why are we stopping?
Well, I think we should talk for a moment.
There are darkspawn to be fought. Is this delay needful?
Are you alright? You were in that cage for weeks.
You are concerned. No need. I am fit enough to fight.
I've never seen a Canary before. Tell me about your people.
No.
Wasn't expecting that.
Get used to disappointment. People are not simple. They cannot be summarized for easy reference in the manner of, the elves are a lithe, pointy-eared people who excel at poverty.
Little hostile, aren't we?
Many humans have said that to me. I do not understand it. If I were indeed hostile, you would be bleeding.
So this is you being calm and helpful.
Couldn't you tell?
Well, alright. You said you were in the army.
I am.
What made you decide to become a soldier? Why would the Canary send soldiers here?
The Antam are the eyes, hands, and mouth of the Kunari. We are how my people know the world.
Doesn't that make your view of things a little skewed?
Compared to what?
You might learn more about the people if you weren't hostile.
What does anyone truly know of the world? The world changes. We change. The Antam observe what we can, just as you do. There is no point to this. We are keeping the Darkspawn waiting.
What's your hurry?
What a strange language you speak. You say hurry, where I would say duty.
It's not your duty to handle the blight, though.
No, it is yours, and you are chatting with me instead.
We should get
As you
moving.
wish.
Ouch.
Yes,
Hey, what were you doing in that cage?
sitting, as you observed.
Well, yeah. Do you have to be so literal?
No, it's a choice, not a necessity.
Let's see. Just tell me.
I did. Parshera. Was there anything else?
I have a question.
I am hardly surprised.
Why'd you come to
To
Ferelden?
answer a question.
What was the question?
The Arishok asked what is the Blight. By his curiosity, I am now here.
What's an Arishok?
The one who commands the Antam, the body of the Kunari.
So he's your king?
Kunari have no kings.
What do you have then?
Little patience for endless questions.
Okay. Did you find the answer to his question?
A portion of it.
What was the answer?
Were you not at Ostagar when the army was overwhelmed? That is your answer.
Why would the Canary care about the blight?
Why do you?
Ferelden is my home.
So if this blight were in Orlais, it could consume the land with impunity. Don't strain yourself pondering that. I do not know why the Arishok sent us. He commands and I go.
Don't you have to report back then?
Yes.
So, what are you still doing here then?
I cannot go home.
Why not?
It doesn't matter now. Can we move on? We keep the Darkspawn waiting.
Let's go.
As you wish.
Ooh, you didn't like that.
Yes.
I have a question.
I am hardly surprised.
Never mind.
Very well.
Let's go.
As you wish.
Well, STEM was easy. Do we have any bullshit in our pockets to give him? Beef bone. Well, we can give the beef bone to Puppo. Here you go. That did nothing. Okay. Waterstain portrait. That is Sten. Where was Sten? Oops. Here you go, bud.
I am impressed. My thanks.
This one's Morrigan.
A fine
We don't have
gift.
Ogren yet. We don't
You
have
have
Ogren
my
yet.
thanks.
We don't have Ogren yet. Rest of it is Ogren stuff. Okay.
Yes.
I have a question.
I am hardly surprised.
Oh, he's
Very well.
just actually done. Let's go.
As you wish.
Okay. So now we go on to Liliana, our win. Well, Liliana kind of has a lot, but we're not going to go through all of it. But
Yes?
hey, let's talk.
Well, here I am.
So this vision of
I
yours.
knew this would come up sooner or later. I don't know how to explain, but I had a dream. In it, there was an impenetrable darkness. It was so dense, so real. And there was a noise, a terrible, ungodly noise. I stood on a peak and watched as the darkness consumed everything. And when the storm swallowed the last of the sun's light, I fell. And the darkness drew me in.
What then?
When I woke, I went to the Chantry's gardens, as I always do. But that day, the rosebush in the corner had flowered. Everyone knew that bush was dead. It was grey and twisted and gnarled, the ugliest thing you ever saw. But there it was, a single beautiful rose. It was as though the Maker stretched out his hand to say, even in the midst of this darkness, there is hope and beauty. Have faith.
And this made you want to help me?
In my dream, I fell. Or maybe I jumped. I'd do anything to stop the blight. I know that we can do it. There are so many good things in the Maker's world. How can I sit by while the blight devours everything?
The Chantry says the Maker has left us.
He's still here. I hear him in the wind and the waves. I feel him in the sunlight that warms my skin. I know what the Chantry says about the Maker, and what should I believe? What I feel in my heart, or what others tell me?
Are you saying the Chantry is wrong?
They said my ideas were blasphemy. But is it so bad if what I believe gives me comfort? If it could give someone else comfort? I know what I know, and no one will ever make that untrue. Yes?
I'd like to talk.
Well, here I am.
What was life like in the Chantry Cloister?
Quiet. It was a life suited for contemplation. In the cloister, away from the fuss and the flurry of the cities, I found peace. And in that stillness, I could hear the Maker. But it was not perfect. Some of my Chantry fellows were condescending. That is the nature of religious folk, I suppose.
Condescending? How so?
When I talked about my beliefs, that the Maker reveals himself in the beauty of his world, they treated me with disdain. They want to believe that he's gone, so that when he turns his gaze on them, it means they are special, chosen. He cannot possibly have love for all, the sick and the weary, the beggars and the fools.
Refer your ideas to the Chantry.
Thank you. Maybe I am wrong. But it is the Maker's place to decide if I am worthy, not men, not the Chantry. But there is work to be done, and I have talked enough for now. Yes?
Talk.
Well, here I am.
What would someone like you be doing in the Lothering Chantry? And this is where I probably accidentally flirt with Liliana.
What is meant by someone like me?
They don't teach you how to fight in the cloister, do they?
Did you think I was always a cloistered sister? The Chantry provides succor and safe harbor to all who seek it. I chose to stay and become affirmed.
Affirmed?
We affirm our belief in the Maker, in Andraste and the chant, but other than that, there are no vows taken.
What did you do before that?
I was a traveling minstrel in Orlais. Tales and songs were my life. I performed, and they rewarded me with applause and coin. And my skill in battle? Well, you pick up different skills when you travel, yes? Yes, of course. Let's move on. Yes?
Talk.
Well, here I am.
You were a traveling minstrel. Do you have any tales to share?
Of course I do. I love stories far too much to keep them to myself. Everyone should be able to benefit from them, I think.
We'll only listen to one, because she has a bunch of them. Do you have any Ferelden legends? Well, we already heard that. Tell me about the Darkspawn.
Chantry lore says it is man's pride that created the Darkspawn. In ages past, the mages of the Tevinder Imperium ruled much of the world we know. In their pride, they thought their magics invincible and imagined that they were greater than the Maker himself. So thinking, they invaded his golden city, planning to take it for themselves and depose their own creator. But they were impure and full of sin. And it is with the sin that they tainted the golden city, corrupting it forever. The Maker cursed them and cast them from his sight. Wherever they went, they spread the taint of their sin. Any land that was touched by the taint became blighted and would suffer no life. Instead, the Darkspawn arose to torment us and remind us of our hubris.
Alright, let's move on. We'll listen to Liliana periodically, because I just do not have the patience to sit here through all the stories. Alright, Win.
Oh, it's been a long day.
Tell me about it.
Rest would be welcome.
You alright?
Yes, of course. I am just a little weary. As you may have noticed, I'm no spring chicken.
No, you're a person. Nah. There's just some life in those old bones, I bet.
Thank you. You're very kind to say so. But in all honesty, I do not know how many years I have left in me. I have lived for such a long time, but there is always something else to do. And I have to keep going in order to do it. I think I will be glad when I am done.
Hey, don't say those things. We still need you.
No, I'm not the sort of person that leaves things unfinished. I'll see this through, I promise. Have you encountered many abominations, apart from the ones in the Circle Tower?
No, the ones in the tower were the first I've seen.
The first time I saw an abomination, my blood turned to ice. It was months before the nightmares stopped. It was the knowledge that I could easily become one of them that frightened me the most.
Her voice is so calming. I would listen to this voice actress read a book, even if it was the dictionary. Let's see. Seeing the monsters that you could be is unsettling, yes.
One slip. All it takes is one slip, and everything you are is simply gone. Replaced by madness. And there is no turning back, or at least that's what they say.
You have doubts.
Of late, I have begun to wonder if there is any way an abomination can be cured, or if a mage could be so possessed and still retain their sanity, their humanity.
If one retains one's humanity, one is not an abomination.
Yes, it is madness and cruelty that define abominations. If those are lacking, if the mage remembers the person they truly are, then they are not an abomination. I never saw that. Thank you for showing me another way of looking at it. Irving told me about how you became a Grey Warden, and that unpleasant incident that occurred prior to your departure from the Circle.
Are you Can't believe Jowan was that stupid.
Stupid or desperate or just curious. He's not the first. He won't be the last. But that aside, you're a Grey Warden now, and perhaps I presume too much by saying this, but the Circle is proud of you.
Aw. I wonder what Irving saw in me that made him recommend me.
Do not squander this time trying to explain why Irving picked you. Accept it, and be the Grey Warden you're supposed to be. Sometimes it gives me comfort to think that everything will end up the way it's supposed to. That it will be all right. You were chosen. You survived the joining when others did not. Perhaps it was meant to be. I must ask, what does being a Grey Warden mean to you?
I like that she asks us a lot of questions. What does it mean? It means I've been chosen to do something important.
There's that, of course. But there's more to being a Grey Warden than killing Darkspawn and saving the world from the Blight. Ultimately, being a Grey Warden is about serving others. About serving all people, whether elves or dwarves or men.
You mean to say I serve as a protector?
As a Grey Warden, you are a guardian of men. And you guard them because their continued existence is more important than you are. Thus it is you who serves, not they.
I will keep that in mind.
A good king, a true king who cares for his land, uses his power to rule firmly but fairly. He serves his people first and foremost. The king who does not do this, who believes that he is entitled to his power, who abuses it, and uses it for his own means, is a tyrant.
I mean, that's true. I don't want power. I never wanted it.
If you live apart from others, and your actions affect only you, then you may do as you wish. But if you have power, influence, and strength, your every action will be as a drop of water in a clear, still pond. The drop causes ripples, and ripples spread. Think of how far they will go, how wide they will become, how will they affect the pond. But I've lectured enough for today. I should stop before I wear out my welcome.
Thank you, wise grandma.
What's on your mind?
All right. You feeling better now?
Oh, yes, and thank you for asking. I'm feeling much better today.
I like making sure all my companions are well.
Well, thank you for your kindness, my dear. It certainly warms these rickety old bones. What's on your mind?
I was just thinking about being a Grey Warden.
Is something troubling you?
Let's be emotionally open to Grandma. Sometimes I wish I could go back to my old life.
A Grey Warden should put aside the person that he used to be. It has shaped the person that he is, but he has become something greater. Grey Wardens have no titles. They owe no allegiance to a king or lord. They cannot serve one people. They must serve them all and protect them all. You are one of the 2 surviving Grey Wardens in Ferelden. You defend all of us, and much rests on your shoulders. It may not mean much to you, but thank you for having the courage to continue to fight.
She's so sweet. I will be ready when the time comes. I'll make you proud.
And that gives me hope. Have you heard much about the Grey Wardens of old?
I know they soared through the skies on griffins.
Griffins. Alas, that seems to be the only thing people remember from the tales. The mighty flying mounts that bore the Grey Wardens into battle.
Well, I wish I had a griffin.
Unfortunately, they've all passed back into the Maker's hand. So that wish will have to go unfulfilled. It was said that watching the Wardens ride in on their white griffins was enough to rouse a weary heart and put the dance back in the step of an old man. The Grey Wardens were powerful, feared and respected, but they also inspired the common people. I remember a tale that was told to me many years ago.
Does the story have griffins in it?
Maker's mercy, it's like talking to a child.
I I don't really care if there were griffins in it.
Yes, there are griffins in this story. The blight had ravaged the land for months, and the armies of the great kings had amassed for one last stand. As the sun burst through the clouds that boiled and churned in the dark sky above, it illuminated a vast, seething horde of darkspawn, with the archdemon at its head. And it was then, when courage seemed to fail, and all lost to death and despair, that the Grey Wardens came. They arrived with the beating of wings like mighty war drums, and stood before the armies of men.
Griffins? Oh, I really want to do it. What happened then?
The Grey Wardens, grim and fearless, marched forth, ever between the men and the encroaching darkspawn. They formed a shield of their own bodies and held that line until the archdemon was dead, and the last darkspawn lay trampled in the dirt. And then, demanding neither reward nor recognition for their sacrifice, the Grey Wardens departed. When the clouds finally rolled back, and the sun shone full upon the blighted ground, the great kings knew that they had lost no men, and none of their blood had been spilled.
When did this happen?
This is a tale about no battle the Grey Wardens have fought, and yet about them all. They have always defended us from the Darkspawn, taking losses so we do not have to. People may have forgotten over the centuries, but nothing has changed. This knowledge has been blessing and burden to Grey Wardens past, and now it shall be your blessing and your burden.
Ugh.
What's on your mind?
As a Grey Warden, I'll never lead a normal life, will I?
No, you won't.
I don't think I was ever meant to be normal.
I don't think so either. You would not have been happy living a dull, uneventful life, dying in obscurity. You wonder sometimes, don't you? If your life would be better if you weren't who you are.
A little.
When I was a young woman in the tower, I came to the realization that the circle would be my life, and I would know no other. Family, love, a simple life. These were things that others took for granted, that I would never have.
And this upset you?
It made me very moody. All I could think of was being trapped in that tower, with no way out and no end in sight. I started hating my life and myself, and one night I found myself in the tower's chapel. I was seeking refuge, maybe answers.
Did you find anything?
I must have looked tearful or made some noise, because the revered mother came out and decided to speak to me. And because I had no one else to talk to, I talked to her. I must have said many silly things, but she told me that the Maker puts us all on our paths for a reason, and fighting our intended course is what causes so much anguish.
And that made you feel better?
I thought the old biddy was full of rubbish. I was 15, maybe 16, and I knew everything. So I left, but I always found my way back to that chapel. And as the years passed, I began to see the truth of her words. We were supposed to be polar opposites, mage and priest. But we weren't. There was much about us that was the same.
I suppose priests have to give up a lot, too.
The revered mother had lived in the chantry all her life, as I had been in the tower for all of mine. She taught me that you can find your family in the people around you, that you can love your work and find fulfillment in duty. And there is joy even in self-sacrifice. If you put others before yourself, then their well-being is yours, and their happiness is your happiness.
I'm torn. It won't be easy to live that way.
You can scream and cry and be angry about life as a Grey Warden, or you can accept it and allow yourself to see the good in it. This is your choice. What's on your mind?
Ooh, I'd like to ask you something about the circle.
I will answer to the best of my ability.
How much you got to say? It's been a while since I left the tower.
It has been almost a year, hasn't it? Do you miss the tower at all?
Yes, it was my home for so long.
You can take a mage out of the circle, but you can't take the circle out of the mage. Or so Irving used to say. He was joking, but there is some truth to the statement. A mage never really leaves the circle, and for the rest of your life you will be seen as a circle mage.
But I'm a Grey Warden now.
But you will always be a mage, especially in the eyes of others. You represent both mages and Grey Wardens, and your actions may reflect well or badly on both groups. Remember that.
I will try. Thank you for the advice.
Oh, but listen to me go on. You start a conversation, and I just run away with it, don't I?
I'm glad you take the time to counsel me.
I've
Pretty
been
sweet.
mentoring apprentices for so long, it's become something I do unconsciously. I don't know if I could stop even if I wanted to.
She's sweet. Alright, that's, wow. That took about, like, an hour, 30 minutes to talk to everybody, and I got through most of it. I got through what I wanted to get through. Let's save here. So let's go adventuring a little bit, and we're going to be meandering our way to Redcliffe Castle now. Boop, 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 boop. My favorite party is Alistair,
Yes.
Wynne, and Liliana, so we'll start with that. And head to Redcliffe. Are we going around? Denerim.
I bring word, sire. There are demands from the Bannermen that you step down from the Regency. They are said to be gathering their forces, as are your allies. It appears it will be civil war after all, despite the Darkspawn. Pity. I also have an interesting report. There seem to be Grey Wardens who survived Ostagar. How, I don't know. But they will act against you. I have arranged for a solution, with your leave.
The Antivan Crows send their regards.
An assassin?
Against Grey Wardens, we will need the very best, sire.
And the most expensive.
Just get it done.
Bum bum bum. Oh. I don't think this is Wynn's thing. This is just an encounter. Alright, what do we got here? So we got one behind us on the side. Up there. Okay. Can I, like, make a fireball? Oh, I can. Oh, well, I have to... Okay. Oh, shit. I fucked it.
On it. Move and parry, striking.
Okay, Wynne needs some help. Okay, where do you think... Yeah, Liliana... Or wait, is that... Yeah, Liliana... All the way up there.
This should be easy enough.
Ah, shit. Ooh, I'm not doing great. Is this a lesser? Yeah.
As you wish.
Let's get started. You should run while you can. Where is your weakness? I'll try to be merciful.
Okay, they got that Hurlock.
You really wish to be
Oh boy.
You should run while you can.
You guys. Did Whippers eat it? I know his icon's dead.
Crap, right ahead.
Is he just not gonna do anything?
We have done well.
Hey,
Yes.
I think that's everybody. Oh, we gotta find Whippers, I think, because otherwise it, will still have me in battle. Where did he go? Where did he go? No, no. Where did he go? Oh, I think I last saw him fighting up on this hill, so we're just gonna make a big circle. There he is. Hey, buddy. There you go. Alright, let's loot. Greenstone. Hurlock. Try to undo some of these traps for some XP. Broken crate? Oh boy, my favorite.
I shall.
I'm reading you guys. I'm just staying out of it.
As you like.
Just letting you casually smear your wife on stream. Oh, I'm an abused victim. My poor self. Nah, it's all fun and games. Alright. Let's get out of here. For off stream. You guys make it sound like I'm this terrible person. Oh.
I fell.
You alright?
For a moment there, I thought it was all over.
Thought what was over?
Everything. I will explain everything when we are back at camp. Now is not the time.
Well, we'll have to see what Win was about.
Look, can we talk for a moment? I need to tell you something.
Puppy!
I should probably have told you earlier.
What's on your mind?
I told you before how Al Eamon raised me, right? That my mother was a serving girl at the castle and he took me in. The reason he did that was because, well, because my father was King Marek, which made Kaelin my half-brother, I suppose.
What? You don't think you might have told me this before?
How? When would I say that? Oh, by the way, King Marek had sex with a servant and she produced a bastard son. That's me. I would have told you, but it never really meant anything to me. I was inconvenient, a possible threat to Kaelin's rule, and so they kept me secret. I'd never talked about it to anyone. Everyone who knew either resented me for it or they coddled me. Even Duncan kept me out of the fighting because of it. I didn't want you to know as long as possible. I'm sorry.
You still could have told me.
You're right. I should have. It's brought me nothing but problems, to be honest. At any rate, that's it. That's what I had to tell you. I thought you should know about it.
So you're the heir to the throne then?
Let's hope not. I'm the son of a commoner and a Grey Warden to boot. It was made very clear to me early on that there was no room for me raising any rebellions or such nonsense. And that's fine by me. Now, if there's an heir to be found, it's Al Eamon himself. He's not of royal blood, but he is Kaelin's uncle, and more importantly, very popular with the people. Though, if he's really as sick as we've heard, no, I don't want to think about that. I really don't. So there you have it. Now can we move on? And I'll just pretend you still think I'm some nobody who was too lucky to die with the rest of the Grey Wardens.
As you command, my prince.
Oh, lovely. I'm going to regret this. Somehow I just know it.
So here's a fun fact. Originally, Shale was going to be a part of the base game, and this thing right here, this little hut, was supposed to be Wilhelm's house. I don't know why it was taken out, but you can actually, I think there's actually like a room you can go in, but you have to like use console commands or something, I don't know. But anyway, fun facts. Hey, Thomas, what up?
I thought I saw travelers coming down the road, though I scarcely believed it. Have you come to help us?
I'm on important business. I need to see Arl Eamon.
The Arl? Then you don't know. Has nobody out there heard?
I've heard Arl Eamon is sick, if that's what you mean.
He could be dead for all we know. Nobody's heard from the castle in days. We're under attack. Monsters come out of the castle every night and attack us until dawn. Everyone's been fighting and dying. We've no army to defend us. No Arl and no king to send us help. So many are dead. And those left are terrified they're next.
Hold on, what is this evil that's attacking you?
I don't rightly know. I'm sorry, nobody does. I should take you to Ban Tegan. He's all that's holding us together. He'll want to see you.
Ban Tegan, Arl Eamon's brother. He's here.
Yes. It's not far, if you'll come with me.
You can mod to Shale's cut dialogue for Redcliffe comes back in the game. Oh, I didn't know that. Shale such shames Bella.
It's Thomas, yes? And who are these people with you? They're obviously not simple travelers.
No, my lord. They just arrived, and I thought you would want to see them.
Well done, Thomas. Greetings, friends. My name is Tegan, Ban of Rainisfere, brother to the Arl.
I remember you, Ban Tegan. Though the last time we met, I was a lot younger and covered in mud.
Covered in mud? Alistair? It is you, isn't it? You're alive! This is wonderful news.
Still alive, yes. Though not for long if Tern Loghain has anything to say about it.
Indeed. Loghain would have us believe all Grey Wardens died along with my nephew, amongst other things.
You don't believe Loghain's lies?
What, that he pulled his men in order to save them? That Cailan risked everything in the name of glory? Hardly. Loghain calls the Grey Wardens traitors, murderers of the king. I don't believe it. It is an act of a desperate man. So you are a Grey Warden as well. A pleasure to meet you. I wish it were under better circumstances. You're here to see my brother. Unfortunately, that might be a problem. Eamon is gravely ill. No one has heard from the castle in days. No guards patrol the walls, and no one has responded to my shouts. The attack started a few nights ago. Evil things surged from the castle. We drove them back, but many perished during the assault.
What evil things are you talking about?
Some call them the Walking Dead. Decomposing corpses, returning to life with a hunger for human flesh. They hit again the next night. Each night they come, with greater numbers. With Cailan dead and Loghain starting a war over the throne, no one responds to my urgent calls for help. I have a feeling tonight's assault will be the worst yet. Alistair, I hate to ask, but I desperately need the help of you and your friends.
It isn't just up to me. Though the Grey Wardens don't stand much chance against Loghain without Arl Eamon.
Of course we'll help.
Thank you. Thank you. This means more to me than you can guess. Thomas, please tell Murdoch what transpired. Then return to your post.
Yes, my lord.
Now then, there is much to do before night falls. I put 2 men in charge of the defense outside. Murdoch, the village mayor, is outside the chantry. Sir Perth, one of Eamon's knights, is just up the cliff at the windmill, watching the castle. You may discuss with them the preparations for the coming battle.
I want to discuss the situation with you.
Of course.
So you have some of Arl Eamon's knights here?
I have those few who returned from their quest. You know of this, yes?
Their search for the Urn of Sacred Ashes?
Yes, I question Isolde's decision to send so many knights in search of this relic. But I am a practical man, whereas she is a woman of great faith. Sir Perth was one of the knights sent on this quest. Perhaps you should speak to him if you wish to learn more.
Oh, why are you in the chantry with the villagers?
Sir Perth insists. He wants me to be with the villagers, so everyone he needs to protect is in one place. I don't mind, to be honest. The point of all this is to protect the villagers, and I can do that best here. This is the last line of defense, should things go amiss.
Do you need more men in here with you?
We could bring some men in to stand beside me, but I'd rather keep the monsters away from the villagers if possible.
What exactly are these things that attack the village?
I do not know. They seem to be walking corpses, men with rotting flesh that continue to attack even with the gravest injuries.
Undead, perhaps. Spirits possessing the bodies of the dead. We could be dealing with a mage, but who would do such a thing?
So what happens after the battle is over?
Hopefully we can find the source and stop it before it causes any more damage. With luck, we'll also find Eamon and be able to help him.
There better be reward after this. I should get back to work.
Very well. Luck be with you, my friend.
You have more to say, though.
What do you need? There is not much daylight left.
Tell me more about yourself.
This is hardly the time to be discussing personal details, don't you think?
Not at all.
We will have to fight for our lives very shortly.
Come on, is knowing a little about you too much to ask?
I beg your pardon, my lady. Where are my manners? What would you like to know?
What will you do if Arl Eamon is dead?
I don't know. If Connor lives, he'll be the Arl, and I'll need to help him with it. If he's... well, I don't want to think about that.
Why have you stayed? Why didn't you just leave?
After the first attack, I wanted to go for help, but I couldn't just leave these people. The Bannon gear up to battle Loghain, while Darkspawn loom to the south. Loghain won't send anyone, so Redcliffe is on its own.
Are you a skilled warrior?
Skilled enough to know there are many far better than myself.
No, that's fair. Do you have any family yourself?
Oh, you mean, am I married? No, I've never had the pleasure. If I did, I'd be lucky to find a woman as lovely as yourself.
Stick to humans instead. You don't know a thing about me. Very lucky.
Just so.
Perhaps we should get back to the matter at hand.
Good, then my secrets are still safe. I was worried for a moment there.
I'll see what I can do.
Very well. Luck be with you, my friend. What do you need? There is not much daylight left.
I think you don't have anything else to say. I'll see what I can do.
Very well. Luck be with you, my friend.
Now, there is a fun little mini-game where we can pick a white wife for him, depending on quests we do. Caitlin in the back here, we can have... Depending on what we do with her, she can be his wife, or Bella in the tavern can be his wife.
Silence, girl. Do you want the children to hear you?
I don't... Irene, I think Jetta's the wife. So if you remember, there is... Let's see the journal here. Was it Redcliffe? Companions. The Blights.
You're a Grey Warden, right?
Yeah, here we
Were
go.
you in Ostagar? In the Kokari Wilds? My husband and son went there to bring the chant of light to the chastened. But I haven't heard from them since.
This is a quest we do when we're in the Kokari Wilds, and we are about to say, are you Jetta? Because you are now a widow.
I am. You've heard of me?
Your husband and son are both dead.
I thought that might be the case. Thank you for telling me.
Certainly.
Maker's blessings upon you.
I should have had a lockbox, but I guess I took it. Whoops.
These are terrible times. Just terrible.
Now, Irene, I don't think I have your quest
Good day.
yet. I do not. Let's see. Foreshadowing Codex entries.
Let us pray.
We'll be talking to them.
Blessed art thou who exists in the Maker's sight. Blessed art thou who seeks his forgiveness.
All right. Hey, Caitlin. Bella can marry him too. I thought it was just Caitlin. Yeah, Bella, if you make her a serving girl, and if you like hook her up with as a serving girl in the castle, she'll like meet Tegan and marry him.
Sorry, am I bothering you? I'll try to be more quiet.
If you do both, I don't know which one wins over though. Are you all right? Why are you crying?
Those things dragged my mother away. I don't know what happened to her, but I hear her screaming all the time. Everywhere.
How terrible. You poor thing. I wish there was something we could do to help.
And now my brother Bevan, he ran off. I don't know where he is. I'm so scared they got him too.
Why would he have run off? Do you know?
He said something about saving Mother. He's just a little boy. He doesn't understand she's gone.
Grief can make us do many things that don't make any sense, I'm afraid.
I hope he didn't try to go to the castle. Oh, that would be awful.
Have you tried looking for your brother?
I went to our house. It's by the square. He wasn't there. I searched the rest of the village too. I called and I called, but he never answered. I wonder if he ran off into the woods. I'm so worried. Without me, he has nobody.
Oh. What would you give to find him? Yeah, you need to be strong, girl.
I understand, I do. I'm just so afraid for him.
Alright.
Please, if you see my brother, send him back here. I don't want to.
Don't worry, I'll look for him.
Thank you so much. Please find him.
I personally like hooking Bella up with Tegan just because Caitlin just seems so young and it's a little bit weird. That's just me though. Okay, so where I guess the Chanter's Board appears after
What has happened to them?
Militia.
Still no sign of them coming back from the castle, Murdoch.
So you're the Grey Warden, are you? I didn't think they made women Grey Wardens.
I'm amazed as well if that makes a difference.
Well, no, that's just great. As if we weren't nervous enough as it was. Now we've got magic too.
You're welcome.
We aren't gonna turn aside anyone who wants to help, though. Don't take me for being an ingrate or nothing.
Well, we do want to help however we can. You can trust us.
Name's Murdoch, mayor of what's left of the village, providing we aren't all killed and hauled off to the castle tonight.
Yeah, the voice just changes here. So, I don't know, I kind of find it funny. Like, he's putting on a voice for us, and then every once in a while he'll slip back into how he actually sounds. Have faith, good man. We'll defeat this thing.
I hope you're right. I've been trying to hold us together, but it isn't easy. Anyhow, you're here, and they tell me you're in charge.
This fucking changes. Hey, I have some questions.
Oh? Ask away.
Where can I get supplies?
If you want weapons and such, you'd go to the blacksmith, but there isn't much left there.
But there's nowhere to actually buy or sell things?
Commerce isn't exactly our biggest concern right now, but you might want to speak to Lloyd at the tavern. I wouldn't trust him, though.
I want to tell me about what's happened here.
Don't rightly know. We heard the owl was sick and getting worse, but after a while we heard nothing at all. A few folks went up to the castle to see what was going on. They couldn't get in. Nobody was there, not a soul. And then those horrid creatures attacked the village. They were everywhere, people dying. It was awful. Good thing Ban Tegan was here.
Do you know anything about Arl Eamon's illness?
No. I know the Arlessa sent the knights out for a cure. You can ask Sir Perth about it. He was one of them.
I wanted to discuss something else.
All right.
I have some questions.
Oh, ask away.
Why have you been stationed here?
We're the last defenders of them folks in the Chantry. The women, elderly, and the children. They're the ones we need to protect. No matter what happens, we can't let them evil things in there. If they die, the village is done.
I want to discuss something else.
All right.
Do you see anything else here?
Ask away.
Nope.
All right.
How is morale?
Morale's about what you'd expect. These men aren't soldiers. They're villagers defending their homes, and they're frightened. It would help if we had decent equipment. There weren't enough swords in Owen's shop, and the men's armor is nearly falling off. I don't think we're in any shape to fight. We'll do our best, of course, but, well, I have my doubts. I just hope I'm alive tomorrow morning.
What can I do to help?
We need what little armor and weapons we got repaired, and quickly, or half of us will be fighting without either.
Owen's the only blacksmith who can do it, but the stubborn fool refuses to even talk. If we're to be ready for tonight, we'll need that crotchety bastard's help.
Why does Owen refuse to talk to you?
His daughter, Valena, is one of the Alessa's maids, so he hasn't heard from her since this whole business started. He demanded we attack the castle, break down the gate, and force our way in. I said it was impossible, but he wouldn't listen. He's locked himself in the smithy now. I can't force him to do repairs. He said he'd rather die first.
Nobody else can do these repairs?
Not by nightfall, and not well enough that I'd be happy to test it in combat. If there were others, don't you think I'd ask them?
Is there anything else you need?
We could use some extra bodies. Having a veteran like Dwin in the militia would help a lot, but he flat out refuses.
Tell me about Dwin.
He's a trader, a dwarf, lives near the lake. Locked himself up in his home with some of his workers, he has. Says he doesn't need any of us. We could use somebody with his fighting experience, but he won't come out.
Is that all you
Shouldn't
got?
you be trying to reason with Owen?
I'll go talk to him then.
Don't drink with him. That's how he sucks you in. Just my luck, our success hinges on the most foolish drunk of a smith ever to grace the Maker's lands.
All right. So let's do a couple quests. I think this is Caitlin's home. Here we go. Go find Bevan. Hey, Bevan, where are you? When you approach the dresser, something moves inside. You hear a short, surprised intake of breath, and then silence. Hello? Someone in there?
No way. This isn't your home.
Young man, come out this instant.
Win.
Yes, ma'am. All right, I came out. You won't hurt me, will you? I'll go back to the chantry if you really want.
What's your name?
It's Bevan. My sister is Caitlin. She's probably at the chantry looking for me.
So what were you doing in there?
I can't tell you. It's a secret.
Are you sure? Maybe I could help you.
You could. All right, I guess. Father said I could have his sword when I grew up. It was Grandfather's, and Grandfather was a great dragon slayer. I thought, if I was brave like Grandfather, I could use his sword and kill the bad people who took Mother.
You had the right idea. You're very brave.
Thank you, miss. But the sword is too heavy for me. I guess I'm not as strong as I thought I was.
Where's the sword now?
In the chest. In Mother's room. Father gave me a key, but I'm not supposed to give it to anyone.
But I could use that sword to help the village.
I guess you're right. I should help defend the village, shouldn't I? Father would have if he were here. Oh, all right. Here's the key. I hope you use it to kill a lot of those bad people. I should go back to the chantry. Good luck.
Bye, kid. Can I not? Oh, it's on the other side of the wall. So we're gonna get the sword. You can actually give it back to Bevan, and if you give it back to Bevan, he's gonna become a great adventurer, and I think that's so cute. So what I'm gonna do is get the sword, equip it on Alistair, defeat the level, go back to Bevan, give him back the sword, so now he has the sword that avenged his mom, and that's just such a cute story, and I love it. Alright. Alistair. The green blade. There you go. It's not actually green, though. Actually, we could make it green. Hold on. Let's take off his shield real quick. Let's... a mod that I don't use that often. Where is it? Universal die kit. Use it. Oh, shit. Well, okay. Colored dyes. We just went green. Then close the die kit. There we go. The sword's green now. You can't really see it. Come on now. There we go. Now its namesake works. We'll just pretend it was like that the entire time. Alright, now we can go. Is that... Oh, forgot the bookshelf. How do you get Bella to work at the castle? I can't remember being that an option. Yeah, it's something like... Honestly, I forget how to do it exactly. I know I've done it before. You just keep talking to her, and then, like, you say that... she says that she hates working at the bar, and then you have to tell her that you have connections, and you could talk to Tegan or something. It's on the lines of that. I might actually mess it up, because I don't remember how to do it. But we're going to try. Yeah, I didn't break the game. I just made the sword green. There's a big difference. General store. Okay, so here what we're going to do is find this barrel. There are lamp oils in this barrel. And so that means, since we basically found a whole bunch of oil, we can go tell, I believe it's Sir Perth about it. Oh, son of a bitch.
As you like.
We tell Perth about it, and then they'll help us in the battle. Boop, ba-doop, boop. What else do we got? Lake Callanhead, no swimming.
So, you're female, Liliana, right?
I am? That's news. When did that happen?
I just wanted some advice. What should I do if I think a woman is special and...
You want to woo her? Here's a good tip. You shouldn't question her about her femaleness.
Kitty.
All right, yes, good point.
Why'd you ask? Are you afraid things will not proceed naturally?
Why would they? Especially when I do things like ask women if they're female.
It adds to your charm, Alistair. You're a little awkward. It is endearing.
So I should be awkward? Didn't you just say not to do things like that?
Just be yourself. You do know how to do that, don't you?
All right, forget I asked.
All right, let's talk to Dwyn. The door is locked and looks like it has been recently repaired. Knock on the door. There's no response. Hello? Hey, lockpicking. Well, I failed to lock it. Now it's hopelessly jammed. All right, break the lock. Now we can go in.
Wonderful. Intruders. I hope you have a good reason for breaking and entering into my home.
Yeah! Oh god, intimidate. Boy, you're talking to a mage. Care to rephrase that? Oh boy.
You know what? In the interest of keeping my face from bursting into flame, I think I will. The name's Dwyn. Pleased to meet you. Now, kindly tell me why you're here.
Murdoch says he needs you for the militia.
So what? You recruiting for him? I'll tell you what I told Murdoch. I'm not risking my neck for this town.
Your chances are better out there than here.
Thanks. But I'll take my chances in here. Everyone else can run around in the open waiting to die.
Can't I change your mind?
Maybe. Let's hear what you've got.
Oh boy. I don't want to pay him. Put in a good word for you with Ban Tegan or the Jarl?
You might just be able to pull that off. Fine. I'll throw in with the militia. For now. You better be out there too when the sun goes down. I'm not fighting for a lost cause, you hear me?
Is that Varric's voice actor? That might be. That kind of sounded similar to him. Nothing in here. Now there is the chest that's locked. Hopelessly locked. Or just not even there yet. Eventually that chest is going to have Sten's sword in it, I believe. Oh yeah, go charge up your phone. Okay, let's save. It's been a while. It's been a hot second since we saved. I think for the most part that's it for like the village on stilts. Yeah, nothing. Let's go talk to Dwyn then. Or not Dwyn, sorry, Owen.
On it.
Boop, 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 boop. Hey, you got an axe. That's something, I guess. Hey, buddy.
Go away. Curse you. Leave me in peace. You've already taken everything out of my stores. There's nothing left.
Is this Owen the blacksmith? I need to speak to you.
Huh? Who is that? What do you want? I've been through enough.
Poor guy. I prefer not to speak through the door. Can I come in?
All right, all right. Let me undo the locks. All I ask is that you don't make any trouble.
Poor drunken bastard.
Make his breath. What is that smell? It's like someone set a brewery on fire.
Somebody's been drinking.
So I let you in. You wanted to talk. Now we're talking. Mind telling me who you are?
My name is Celine, a Grey Ward, and helping Bantegan.
A Grey Warden, is it? It takes all kinds. Funny, you didn't sound like an elf through the door. Can't say I expected that. Anyhow, my name's Owen, though you might already know that. Care to join me as I get besotted? Or is there something in particular you wanted?
Oh boy. I mean, he knows he's drunk. The militia does need his help. What do you know about what's going on?
You mean, why are these creatures attacking the village? Obviously, something wicked corrupts the castle. My daughter used to tell me the Arlessa was up to something, hiding things from her husband. I told Velena she was imagining things. But maybe the Arlessa was involved in something. Blood magic, maybe.
Have you told anyone about this?
Of course not. And who would I tell? And what good would it do now, eh? I just wish I'd paid more heed to my girl.
You think the Arlessa made Arleman sick?
I'd never make such accusations. But maybe, if she was using foul magic, then maybe she just did at that.
What do you know about the Arlessa?
Only that she's an Orlesian girl from beyond the Western Mountains. Far too young for our Arl. That's what I say. And too proud and headstrong from the sounds of it.
What else did your daughter say?
She thought the Arlessa was having an affair with some tutor she hired for the boy, Connor. I never listened much to her talk about it. Though I wish now I had. It doesn't matter anyway. She's lost to me. And I can't do anything about her warnings now.
Something else I want to talk about.
Like what?
So the smithy is closed.
Look around. The militia took everything they could use. I could start up the forge again, but I won't, since Murdoch won't listen to me.
Bye, Jess. Are you sure you won't help me out?
If you mean you want me to smith something for you, then no. But feel free to take whatever's left. Don't suppose it matters much anymore.
Why have you locked yourself in the smithy?
My girl, Velena, is one of the Alessa's maids, and she's trapped up there in the castle, but the mayor won't send anyone for her. She's been my life since my wife passed on 2 years ago. Now she's dead, or soon to be. I don't care what happens to me or the village, or anyone.
I'll rescue your daughter.
It'd do me the world of good to think maybe someone like you could go in and find her. Provided any of us live through the night.
And what about the militia? They need your help.
If you look for Velena, I'll reopen the smithy and make some repairs for the militia. I can do that much.
I'll do my best.
Not good enough. Murdoch said the same damn thing, and I didn't believe him either. I want a promise. Promise me that you'll look for her. That you'll bring her back to me if you can.
I promise I'll find her.
We will do our best. Please believe us, friend.
I'll accept that. It's something to hope for, at least. Right then. It seems I have some work to do relighting the forge, and I suppose I'll have to find some iron. Maybe at the mill. Murdoch just better send his men here as soon as possible if I'm gonna get to all these repairs and get them done by nightfall. If you need anything done, well, just let me know. I've got a lot to do now, so you'll have to excuse me.
Okay. What do we got to loot here?
Hey, I see you found my hiding place. I stuck some old equipment in there before Murdoch could get his hands on it.
This
I
should
don't
be
think
easy
there's
enough.
anything you'll need in there. But it's hard to say. I was in a bit of a rush when I filled it up.
Couldn't the militia use this?
Not if I'm going to repair the equipment they have. That stuff is old, anyhow. Yeah, let me open it for you. I have the key.
Thanks, dude.
Let's get started.
Get all the stuff. Alright, let's get out of here. Wonder what happens if you come back without saving her. I don't remember what happens. I know I've done it, though. It's a good question. Unfortunately, we will be saving her. Alright, let's go over here. Now, what the heck is this thing? Is this, like, making a boat?
As you wish.
Or something? I don't know. We'll go up here and get the chest. Now, it took me, like, so many playthroughs just to realize you could actually walk up this ramp to get the chest up here. I thought this was just something you couldn't get to. I don't know if I can actually open this yet.
My friend?
Hey, I can. Wasn't even that exciting. He kills himself? Oh, boy. And this is the bar up here, so let's go talk to some bar patrons. Also save. The longer you play this game, the longer it kind of gets wonky, so I'm kind of saving more often now. Alright. Yeah, I know. No one knows about the ramp. Okay, who do we talk to first? Bella, the militiaman, Lloyd. Let's do Bella. Hey, Bella.
Another doomed soul come to drown their sorrows here, I see. If you came here for a drink, you'd have to talk to Lloyd. He's got a vice grip on the spigots. I'm just here to keep the boys from mutiny.
How's business been?
What business? Without the castle soldiers, the only customers we have are local. And they're all in the militia with no money to spend. The few with any money are here, but it's not enough to justify working. Lloyd's a greasy pig. And if I didn't need this job so badly,
Why don't you leave?
And go where? With no money and no prospects, I just end up somewhere else working for someone worse.
You could leave if you had some help.
You mean after the fighting's over? I'd really like that. What would I have to do in return?
How about not end up at another tavern?
Well, I can't promise that, but thank you. I don't really know what to say.
What do you know about that elf in the corner?
Not much. He's very quiet. Says his name's Beric and he's here to meet his brother, but I think he's lying. He's a bit creepy.
Shouldn't you be at the chantry?
Later on, yes. Lloyd will lock himself in the cellar, and I'll go to the chantry. Are you fighting tonight?
Yes, I am.
That's good to hear. I didn't know that.
I should go.
Keep safe.
Hey, buddies.
No matter how much ale I drink.
I can't believe Lloyd won't even give us some free ale. A time like this, and all he thinks about is turning a profit.
Did you expect any different? That bastard's always been cheaper than an ante from the hall.
Here we are defending the village, and he don't even have the decency to help us out.
Maybe he should help defend the village instead.
I've seen Lloyd handle a sword. He should stick to something he knows about, like keeping me nice and drunk for the fight.
Lloyd is charging us for coin we don't even got anymore. Nobody's working right now. We're all just trying to survive.
What difference does it make? He won't care.
Let's quickly go to the back so I can steal his things that aren't there, apparently. Dang. Okay, well. Hey. Oh, also the graffiti. Boop.
Hello there, friend. Can't say we've ever met before. Stranger to the village, I take it.
Sort of.
Haven't had many travelers lately. All this nonsense is bad for business. Bet you regret coming, yes?
What do you mean?
Oh, you know, evil creatures, impending doom, civil war, and the Earl's dead in the castle. Makes you thirsty, don't it? So, what'll it be? You are here to drink, I hope.
Well, I do want, let's see what you have.
Right. I've got some supplies, too, in case you're interested. With the store closed down, it doesn't hurt to pick up some of the slack, eh?
Alright, what you got? Not much, honestly. Ooh, health poultice recipe. The Mabari recipe. I don't know, we're actually okay with that. We can also sell a whole bunch of stuff we don't need. Like this greenstone, all of this. I don't really like the small shields. This one sucked. Oh boy, we got a whole bunch of things here. Grey Warden staff. No. Let's get rid of the axes. We don't really need them. 4 and 480. We'll save 2 daggers for Zevran when he eventually comes. Okay, we'll keep those. Alright, with more gold, what do we want to buy? Let's do some health potions. Always good to get. Mabari Crunch, because I don't really have any. Boop, boop. There we go. And that's all.
Hey, what can Lloyd get you?
So who are you anyway?
Name's Lloyd. We don't get many elves out here. You're a runaway from the city.
Runaway? I couldn't just be a traveler?
No, I suppose you could. Never thought about it, really.
Mm.
Something else I can get for you?
Well, answer a few questions.
Fine. Make them quick.
Why are you still open?
I'm not abandoning my tavern because of a few monsters. The second I'm in the Chantry, Murdoch and his men will be here drinking all my ale.
What do you know about what's happening there?
Not a lot. Castle guards stopped coming in about a week back. It's unusual, too. They were my main source of business. After a few days, I thought it strange enough to ask. But nobody heard anything. Anyone going up to the castle didn't come back. When the first attack hit, I locked myself in the cellar. I say we just wait for help to come.
What do you know about that elf in the corner?
Not much. Says his name's Berwick. Arrived here more than a week back. Waiting for his brother, he says. I've never seen him before, but he paid good for his room. Quiet sort.
Shouldn't you be helping defend the village?
Why? When them creatures attack, I lock myself in the cellar. Just batten the hatches and wait it out. What's the point in getting myself killed with all the rest of them? If that makes me a coward, then I'm a coward.
How about you give the militia free ale instead?
Are you trying to run me out of business?
Sort of, yeah. Think of the goodwill you'll earn.
I never thought of that. Maybe I could try it for a bit. Right then, you men over there. Drinks are on the house. All militia drink for free.
Oh, you're a saint, Lloyd. Ha ha!
If them creatures don't kill me, I swear they'll bleed me dry. Something else I can get for you?
Questions?
Fine. Make them quick.
Do you actually have anything? Did I say the elf in the corner?
Not much. Says his name's Berwick. Arrived here more than a week back. I've never seen him before, but he paid good for his room. What? Right then.
Alright, that's it. Now, you can actually steal the letter off of Berwick, but I'm just going to talk to him.
Not looking for company.
Too bad. Strange seeing a fellow elf here.
And that's all we have in common.
What does that mean?
I'm not here to talk.
There's something about this man's demeanor.
Oh, hello, Bella.
I don't know.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
But you do, don't you? I know spy when I see one.
Look, just because you're an elf doesn't mean we should be friends. I was just told to... I mean, just leave me alone.
What do you mean, what were you told to do?
Nothing. Nobody told me to do anything. Just because you're a Grey Warden doesn't mean you can go around threatening people.
This will be easier if you just tell me what you're hiding.
But I never... Oh, all right, I'll tell you. Just Just don't hurt me. This is more than I bargained for. Look, they just paid me to watch the castle and send word if anything should change. But they never said anything about monsters. I haven't even been able to report anything since this started. I'm stuck, same as you, I swear.
Who are they? Who hired you to do
A
this?
tall fellow. I forget his name. He, said he was working for Hal. Arl Rendon Hal. He's an important man, Terran Logain's right hand. So I didn't do anything wrong.
How do I know you're telling the truth?
Here, this is a letter from them. It has instructions and everything. Keep it, do whatever you want with it. I just thought I was serving the king and making a bit of coin on the side. You have to believe me.
I think you should help defend Redcliffe again.
Oh,
tonight.
All right, I'll do it. Thank you for your mercy. I won't forget it.
Alright, that's it for the tavern. Does Bella say anything?
Hello again, sweetie. Nice to see you're still safe.
Alistair in the back. How's business
What
been?
business? Without the castle soldiers, the only customers we have are local. And they're all in the militia with no money to spend. The few with any money are here, but it's not enough to justify working. Lloyd's a greasy pig. And if I didn't need...
We've done
And go
this.
where? You mean after the fighting's over? Well, I can't promise...
Okay. Does the militia say anything now that I've gave the mail? No. No. Okay. Let's get out of here. Okay. Let's go into this mysterious door here. Hello.
Yes? What can I do for you?
I have a letter for you from the Blackstone Irregulars.
I knew this time would come. I should have listened to my wife. Don't sign that paper, she said. They might pay you a few sovereigns now, but they'll be back. Blast. I'll see you on the front lines, I suppose.
And that was it. Well, and this stuff. Alright, Liliana. Work your magic.
What
Well,
shall I do?
okay. We've been going for a little over 2 hours, so I do want to wrap it up here eventually, but I kind of just want to, like, finish up with preparations for Redcliffe for the most part.
Some of them will find their way to Denerim. Many will die, as the Maker wills.
Don't you wish you could have stayed there?
No word from the castle.
Whoops. And then up here is also his peep spot. Peep spot.
Say no more. The Arl lives, and I will not listen to you. Why would Mother
you
Hannah
are-
denounce the Maker's protection?
It would be good
I
to
do not
know
understand.
the Maker is on our side.
Alright, Perth. What's up, my buddy?
Greetings, Grey Warden. I am as relieved as Ban Tegan is to see you here. I must admit, I do not know how to address an elf in your position. I do not wish to be rude.
And call me Grey Warden, for that's what I am.
Grey Warden it is then, and thank you kindly. I am Sir Perth, until recently in direct service of Arl Eamon of Redcliffe. For now my charge is defending the village from these evil assaults. Would that I had chosen not to seek out the urn of sacred ashes. Perhaps I would have fended off whatever evil befell the castle, or perhaps I would be dead. Ah well, with a Grey Warden aiding our defense, perhaps all is not lost.
Have you considered using the oil in the village store?
No one told me of this. Oil, you say? How much exactly?
All of it. Enough to set many monsters aflame.
Assuming that would hurt them. Yes, I see what you have in mind. That might be effective, if used carefully. Yes, excellent idea. I'll send some men to collect the oil. We'll use it to slow these creatures down. Have you anything else to ask me in the meantime?
Is there anything I can do to help?
We have sufficient armor and weapons, but my knights are too few to stand against the monsters without assistance. Perhaps you could approach Mother Hannah in the Chantry for some holy protection against these evil creatures. Otherwise, I do not know what else you could provide beyond your own talents. We're as prepared for the onslaught as we could possibly be, all things considered.
Is there anything else you need?
No, nothing comes to mind. If you have not spoken to the mayor, Murdoch, you should. His militia is far more in need of aid than we are.
I have some questions.
Ask me whatever you wish.
Oh boy. Where can I get supplies?
I'm not sure. Murdoch mentioned a blacksmith in the village, but I believe the militia is using everything he had. Beyond that, you might try the village store. It's locked up, but there may be items of use still within. I do not know.
What about the tavern?
A fellow named Lloyd runs it. He refuses to close and evacuate to the chantry. I suppose he might still have something to sell you, though I wouldn't encourage dealing with a fool. He's a profiteer and nothing more.
Tell me about the quest for the Urn of Sacred Ashes.
When the Isle fell sick, we were at a loss. Nothing worked to cure him, and he just kept getting worse. Finally, our lesser Isolde came up with a plan. The Urn of Sacred Ashes is a legendary artifact said to hold great healing powers. If found, it might save him.
According to the legend, the followers of Andraste brought her ashes back to Ferelden to hide them from the Imperium.
We knights volunteered to seek it out. Few of us have returned. Many are still out there, unaware of what is happening here.
Why did the Arlessa believe anyone could find the urn?
The Earl once employed a scholar, Brother Genetivi. He had proof the urn was in Ferelden, or so I was told.
Can no one find the other knights and bring them back?
Eventually, perhaps. The ones I have here were those near enough to recall within the last few days. I only returned myself because I was passing by Redcliffe and heard the news of strange attacks.
So the knights left the castle defenseless?
Not at all. A great number of soldiers remained in Castle Redcliffe. I wonder if they perished there and were transformed into these things. The thought chills my blood.
What was the Arl sick with?
We were never certain. He thirsted for water and then grew weaker and weaker. He brought in a mage, but even that did nothing. The Arlessa believed he was cursed and that we needed the power of Andraste herself, or he would surely perish.
Want to discuss something else? What is your status?
Although we are far better equipped than Murdoch and his villagers, we knights are too few. Things will be grim after sundown. Overall, my fellow knights are nervous about the coming battle. Death is almost certain, but we will fight and die valiantly if that's what the Maker demands.
I have some questions. I think I asked everything, though. Tell me what's happened here? Didn't he say that?
You know about as much as I do. I returned a day before the attacks began, having heard strange rumors about the abandoned castle. I was the only knight to survive the first attack. Since then, I found others returning from the Arlessa's quest. Until we get to the source of this evil, though, I do not think it will stop, and I don't believe we will be enough. As you wish.
That's it.
As you wish, Grey Warden. Make her watch over you.
Okay, so we gotta kind of do a back and forth here. We go talk to Mother Hannah. Liliana says, you know, maybe we shouldn't. We tell her to shut up. This would be a good old banter. Readable says, who do you make the rule of Orlais and DAI? Yeah, we talked about it in a podcast, like Matthias mentioned, but I guess the short answer is that I kind of prefer Celine and Briala. I know maybe as a couple, not the best choice, but I think for Orlais, it's what I would prefer. Ooh. Book. All right. Hey.
What do you need? There is not much daylight left.
I don't know why I talked to you, to be honest.
Very well. Luck be with you, my friend.
Because I meant to do Mother Hannah. For some reason, my hand clicked on him. All right.
You are of elven blood and a stranger, yet you defend a home that is not your own. We are grateful for that.
I don't need a human's crowd gratitude. Is there a reason I shouldn't help?
Many elves claim we wouldn't do the same in return. I would like to think that is not true, but I cannot speak for all. Allow me to introduce myself. I am revered Mother Hannah, head of this chantry, which for the moment is a place of refuge for these poor villagers. Surely this cannot be the entire village. These few are all who are left. All those who cannot defend themselves, yes. They are terrified of tonight's attack, and I fear these walls will not keep them safe. What can I do to help with your task?
Just how safe is the chantry?
It is the sturdiest building in the village. The women, elderly, and children will stay here during the battle, while the militia and knights protect them. They set up a barricade outside the chantry to keep monsters from getting inside. If anything gets in, Ban Tegan is our only defense. Please, have mercy. Help these people. Do whatever you can.
Sir Perth needs holy protection for the knights.
I have done all I can for them. I pray for them each night and seek the Maker's forgiveness for their sins before they face their deaths. What Sir Perth seeks is something that is not in my power to give.
What do you mean?
Sir Perth believes that I can protect them against these creatures, a shield only the Maker can provide, and that I withhold this power.
Does he not realize that it is his faith alone which must sustain him? It is faith alone which will bring the Maker's aid.
Unfortunately, he seeks the Maker's protection in a far too literal sense. This is something I cannot promise nor provide.
Well, can't you just tell him the Maker will watch over him? Morale is a powerful thing, you know.
You mean you want me to let them think the Maker protects them in a real sense? I will not lie to them like that.
But if he gave them confidence, then it does protect them.
I suppose if they believed in the Maker's power, that belief would inspire them somewhat. It just seems like trickery. Very well. If it keeps them alive, I will do what I must. I have a number of silver-cast holy symbols. Tell Sir Perth that he can have them, and that wearing them will confer the Maker's protection. Now please, let me tend to these poor folk. I must do what I can, and I suggest you do the same.
Can I talk to you again?
What is it you need, child?
Blessing.
You would? That is, I mean, of course. I'd be happy to. Blessed art thou who exists in the Maker's sight. Blessed art thou
Liliana.
who seeks his forgiveness. Blessed art thou who seeks his return. Blessed is the prophetess, his daughter, sacrificed to the holy flame. May the chant reach the Maker's ears and tell him of our contrition.
Chase, you've missed a lot of talking.
May the Maker watch over you, child.
That's been the majority of today. I think we're mostly done here. We'll talk to Caitlin after everything, really. Right in front of your fire. Okay. Let's go talk to Sir Perth, tell him about the things, and then we can go back to Murdoch, and that's probably where I'm going to end it today. And then... I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow, if anything. I don't know if I'll have time, but I'll try. Maybe I'll just do more of this. Hey, Perth.
The Knights of Redcliffe are ready to fight at your disposal.
Hey, you said you wanted holy protection?
Have you spoken to the revered mother? Has she offered anything?
Boop, boop, boop. It has some holy amulets.
Must we do this? The faith that will protect these men must come from their heart, surely.
If they are the same as the symbols worn by their priests, well, that would more than suffice.
Glad I could help.
I will send some men to collect the amulets. Please give my regards to Mother Hannah for seeing some sense at last.
Alright, is there anything else you need?
No, nothing comes to mind. If you have not spoken to the Mayor, Murdoch, you should.
Carry on. Alright. Yeah, Liliana, you'll get over it. It's for the best. I think that's everything in pre-Redcliffe. I think I'll talk to Dwyn and Berwick real quick just to see if I've exhausted all of their stuff. Hey, buddy.
I can't believe
Yep.
I'm going
How
to
about you?
fight. That's what I get
Yep.
for mixing myself up in all this.
There you go.
I hear you got the tavern serving the militia free ale now. While I don't favor my men being drunk come sundown, I suppose it helps morale to have their minds taken off what's to come. You have my thanks. Well, it looks like Owen's finally doing the repairs we need. The damn fool is falling over a drunk and still manages to make smithying look easy. Good enough, I say. I'll inform Bantig and the militia is ready to fight. We'll give those bastards a welcome they won't soon forget.
Am I against Lloyd fighting? I'm not against it. I just think that they say he's really bad with the sword, and we don't really need his help that bad. So I don't know. He does better as a businessman than a fighter. So just let him do what he's good at. How's morale?
The men's spirits are high for now. Far better than I expected, to be honest. Dwin's presence makes the men a bit more confident. It helps to know a veteran is on our side tonight. My men are getting free drinks at the tavern. I suppose it's better to drown your fears rather than go mad waiting for certain death. I'm tempted to have a few ales myself. Since you convinced Owen to start repairs, we're pretty well armed now. That is a relief, let me tell you. Overall, I'd say the militia's very ready to fight. Never thought I'd say that, but there you go. Is there anything else? Oh? Ask away.
Well, you've asked all of this.
I have a good feeling about tonight.
Oh, Alistair leveled up. We wanted to get more dexterity, I think, because his weapon and shield has a lot of dexterity in it. Yeah, okay. So let's do some dexterity. Actually, I think we just need 20, right, for the next thing of his? Yeah, with a max of 26. So then we'll go more in strength and constitution. We've done mostly combat training. Oh, there's my pup. Let's see. What would do good for Alistair? I guess just the tactics slots. We'll get to that eventually. Let's do some quick inventory management. Liliana, how you looking? Gloves doing good. Boots doing good. Didn't really get any cool daggers or items. Yeah, that's about it, really. Okay. Well, let me... I think for the most part that's where I want to end it today, but let's end off on a note. What do you know of this place, Liana?
I know little of it except that it is the domain of the Earl of Redcliffe. Redcliffe? I wonder how the name came to be. Is the clay here red? There are places in this world where the clay is a bright, strange red, and often, in the legends of such places, it is the red of blood. The blood of 1,000 men slaughtered in battle, or that of an innocent, unjustly slain. It stains the land that it may never be forgotten. Perhaps Redcliffe has one such tale. But I do not know it.
Oh. Let's just move on. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining. And I think that's it for Saturday's stream. I don't know if I'll stream tomorrow. It kind of sees how my schedule goes, but check on Twitter for more information on that. Maybe Jordan will surprisingly not be busy and then go back to Andromeda. I don't know. It's all a mystery. But let me, even though I just did it, do a quick save and say goodbye, everybody. Thank you for coming.